Welcome back and welcome to my April TBR. There are so many new releases I want to read this month, as well as some that I want to read for some video projects I have coming up. So let's jump right in. Talk through the April releases I want to read, then my Paige Toon read-along books that I have left, which I have a whole video talking about that, which I'll leave linked up here, and then I will leave the blog post linked below as well. The April release dates will be UK dates unless otherwise specified. So starting from tomorrow, the 2nd of April, I have 2 books on my TBR to read. We have Strangers by C.L. Taylor, which I will be making a whole discussion video about, a whole book review video about, because I have made whole book review videos about C.L. Taylor's previous novels and you've always seemed to quite enjoy those. So I will be having a book review video coming about this one, coming your way very soon. Then we have, also on the 2nd of April, Pretending by Holly Bourne, which I am currently in the middle of reading right now, and is just stunning. I think because it's quite a solid cover, it never likes to have its picture taken on here, but this one is about being in your 30s and dating and rape culture and consent and what it means to be a woman who is acceptable within society, and just what it means to be in your 30s and be a woman in society today, and but all told through this fictional character, and is just fantastic. April is a wonderful character to spend time with, and I can relate, surprisingly. Then also on the 2nd of April, we have the first of the new series from Bella Osborne coming out. So I don't have the cover of the first one, but the first one is called Out of the Blue. Meet Me at Pebble Beach, Out of the Blue. And I already actually have a review of this one on my blog, so I will leave that linked below. But part 2 is coming out on the 16th of April. So part 1 is out on April 2nd, part 2 is out on April 16th, and then part 3, called Sink or Swim, is out on April the 30th. So I know we've jumped ahead in time a little bit there, but I just wanted to show you these gorgeous covers. And then of course part 4 and the bind up of all 4 novels is out in May. So part 4 is out at the beginning of May. The bind up of all 4 is out on the 23rd of May, and I do have all of these pre-ordered because I'm very excited. I love a Bella Osborne series, and like I say, I have read part 1, Out of the Blue, and it's good. Then the next kind of big date, aside from part 2 of Meet Me at Pebble Beach, we have another 3 books coming out that I want to read on the 16th of April. We have another multi-part series part. We have part 2 of the Brightwater Bay series by Holly Hepburn. This is part 2, Sea Breezes at Brightwater Bay. Again, I have it pre-ordered, so this one will hit my Kindle at 5 p.m. on the 15th. I'm very excited because my Kindle's still on UK time, so 5 p.m. here is midnight there. And so it will hit my Kindle, and I'm excited to read. I'm really looking forward to the escapism aspect of Brightwater Bay. It's up in the Isles in Scotland, away from everything, and I'm just excited to travel back there right now, since I can't actually physically travel anywhere. Traveling back there via a book will be a lot of fun. Then also on the 16th of April, we have Rules for Being a Girl, which is by Candice Bushnell and Katie Katugno. I never know how to pronounce that. So Candice Bushnell obviously is the author of Sex and the City, and she wrote the non-fiction book Is There Still Sex and the City that came out last year, that I loved, and I got to meet her at Book Expo when I got my proof copy. Very exciting. And so it'll be interesting seeing her collab with this YA romance author for this book. I'm really excited to see what they do with this one. It is fiction, and yeah, I'm just really intrigued to see how it works. So again, blog is always linked below, my Goodreads is always linked below, so you can see as soon as I put my review of this one up. As I say, this one comes out on the 16th as well. And then also on the 16th, hotly anticipated, we have The Switch by Beth O'Leary, which is obviously her follow-up novel to the highly successful Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. I know that it was massive in the UK, it was massive over here. I got myself a beautiful signed Waterston special edition that had the sprayed edges. It was glorious, it was beautiful. And the tagline for this one is, Lena is too young to be stuck, Eileen is too old to start over, it's time for the switch. And people who have read advanced copies of this one have said that it's amazing, so I'm excited to see what she does next. It's like, when you read a really impressive debut, it's always exciting to see what happens with the follow-up. Then, jumping forward to the next week, April 23rd, I have a review copy that I am on the blog tour for, which again is a second book. So this is Mum's Big Break by Louise Emma Clark. Can one normal mum survive life in the spotlight? Because obviously she started a highly successful online community, really, not just kind of doing things. And so she's become a mommy blogger, a mompreneur, however you pronounce that word. And I really enjoyed book one. It was pink, this is yellow. I'm excited. I did the cover reveal for this one on my blog. And as I say, I'm on the blog tour for this one, so I'm reviewing it as part of the blog tour. I believe I review it the day after it comes out, so it comes out on the 23rd. My review will be up on the 24th, so blog's linked below again. Then, speaking of escaping and going somewhere with a lovely author, we're now jumping forward to the 30th of April, which, as I mentioned earlier, Meet Me at Pebble Beach Part 3 is released on the 30th of April, but also on the 30th of April we have The Secret Seaside Escape by Heidi Swain. It's been really hard staving off reading this one just yet. I've had so many other kind of February and March releases that I've managed to get to, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to read this one as soon as possible in April, because it's just going to be lovely, and I'm excited about Heidi Swain writing a bit of seaside action as well. I can see the sea in the cover. We'll see what it turns out to be in the book. I love Heidi Swain, and she writes such feel-good fiction. I'm excited to kind of lose myself and escape with that at just the right time. And then one from an author who hasn't had a book out for a little while, and I've read everything that she's written, and so I'm very excited to read her new one. Her first few books contained just a little hint of magic, and then her couple more recent books are a little bit more on the realistic side of rom-com, but this is Confessions of a 40-something Fuck Up by Alexandra Potter, and it's got hashtag life goals, hashtag winning life scored out, and then replaced with hashtag no idea what I'm doing. So I think this one's going to be fun. I feel like it's going to be a little bit like Mum's Big Break, that diary form of like, yes, I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I'm excited to see what Alexandra Potter has been writing while she's been away as well, because she's had a little break from bringing things out, so we'll see what this new one is like. So there we have quite a lot of April releases. I'm really hoping I can get to all of them, because I am looking forward to reading so many of them. Of course, I have my Paige Toon read-along books that we want to read this month. It's coming up very close. Paige's new one comes out in May, so we are nearly at the end. Hayley and I did a live show about the books that we've read so far, because we were at the halfway point. So the books that we're reading in April, The Sun in Her Eyes straddles March and April, so technically the read date for this one began on the 28th of March, but I'm saving it to begin on the 1st of April. And I have just the paperback copy of this one. I don't have the ebook or the audiobook to read. And then I have The One We Fell in Love With. So this is my proof copy, but I do have an ebook and an audiobook copy of this one. So I'll probably do this one on audiobook, and I'll put that cover in for you to see. Then we have The Last Piece of My Heart, and Hayley and I chatted about this one because this one is her favourite of the ones that she'd read, because this was the one that she started her Paige Toon journey with. And so it will be interesting for her to read this one now we have read 13 Weddings, because the main character of this one pops up not only in 13 Weddings but also in Longest Holiday, and I feel like even though I'd read those two, I didn't remember Bridget as much of a character as I do now, having read them back to back. So The Last Piece of My Heart, I think, is going to be an interesting discussion for Hayley and I. So definitely make sure you are following us on Facebook, because we've got our spoilery discussion group to discuss this one on Facebook, and I think it's going to cause quite a lot of chat for us. So I'm quite excited about the week that we read this one. And then we're like nearly up to date. I can't believe it. So basically we do go into Paige's like last two adult ones in the month of April, because we have 5 years from now, which I read in one sitting. This one came out 2018, so we're nearly up to present day, and I love this one. I have a whole standalone review of this one, so I will leave it linked up here, because I really did love this one. I read it in one sitting. It had me in tears. I love the way it was structured, and I'm really looking forward to reading it again to see if it has the same impact on me. I feel like it might have more impact on me now, just because we've been reading all the Paige novels back to back to back to back, so I think it's going to be more intense. And then also The State of the World, I think, will have an intensity on some of these more emotional novels as well. And then finally, the one that I remember reading in my little like walks I used to take myself before starting work. So I used to go and walk around the housing area where I worked, and I would go and park my car like half an hour or an hour earlier than I needed to be at work and go and have a walk, and I listened to this one on audio. So The Last Piece of My Heart, 5 years from now, and If You Could Go Anywhere, I have on audio, but I also have signed paperback copies, so I have them to show you here. And then of course I have all the remaining extra stories from those inside of One Perfect Christmas. So this one came out before If You Could Go Anywhere, but there's Rose's Big Night Out from The One We Fell in Love With, and then there's an extra chapter to The Last Piece of My Heart in this one. And then we'll be up to date with Paige's adult novels. That is really, really exciting. Then I have some other books that I want to get to. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I've got some kind of video projects in mind, a couple of book versus movie things, a couple of things that people have really recommended to me, and one of those video projects is a reading vlog of this year's quick reads. You might remember I read one of them in February. When you see my March wrap up, you'll see that I read 3 more of them this month. And then, so the 2 that I have left now is the quick reads version of This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Bit worried about reading this one because it's about a junior NHS doctor, but I have already listened to the full audiobook of this one. So this is going to be a kind of how does this compare to the audiobook, and this one is the shortest of them. This one is only 70 pages long, and it's in diary form, which always makes things go just that little bit quicker. So it'll be interesting to see how that one compares to the full length book. And then we have Darkness Rising by A.A. Dand, introducing Detective Inspector Harry Verdi, which I think I said is the one that's furthest outside of my comfort zone. And that's probably why I haven't got round to reading this one yet. But I am excited to read it because these books are so perfect for reading outside of your comfort zone, and this one is also the longest of this year's quick reads, so I think that's another reason I've kind of put it off. It's only 128 pages. I've been putting it off in favour of reading 400-page novels instead, but you know, in terms of my actual video reading vlog for all of these. So again, make sure you subscribe so that that reading vlog lands in your subscription feed, because as soon as I'm done with these two, that vlog will be coming your way with all the others. And then just a couple more things that I have, sort of backlist titles that I want to read. And then I have one for a book versus movie or book versus TV show that I want to watch. I have an audiobook of Self-Made by Leah Bundles. And this is The Life and Times of Madam C.J. Walker, which you may have seen is a show on Netflix. This is the TV show tie-in cover we have here. So I'm hoping to listen to the audiobook and then watch the show and then bring you a book versus movie. So this is going to be one of the first audiobooks that I listen to in the month of April. And then a couple of other audiobooks I have, because you know audiobooks make up such a huge part of my reading. I have the audiobook copy of Open Book by Jessica Simpson. I don't know a whole lot about Jessica Simpson, but everybody who was reading this book, everybody on Bookstagram who was reading this book was saying how amazing it was and how much they enjoyed it and how much they were kind of surprised by how good it was. And they said specifically the audiobook, because she reads it herself. So I'm looking forward to reading that, and it gives me a little bit of non-fiction because I don't have a lot of non-fiction on my TBR. I think that might be the only non-fiction I have. Obviously Self-Made is semi-based on real life. And then just in case I was needing another little bit of romance, I have In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle, which the tagline for this one is, "This is a love story, but not the love story you're expecting." Everybody's been raving about this, both sides of the Atlantic. You know, all my blogger friends back in the UK and my booktube friends over here have been like, yes, you're gonna love this one, it's gonna be amazing. And I have the audio, so I'm going to be reading that one on audio. So there you have it, my April TBR. You know, I will probably end up deviating from it in some aspects. Who knows what the month's going to look like in terms of outside life or inside life, as life now is. Let me know what is on your April TBR. Also, let me know if you have read any of the ones that I am getting to this month. I know a lot of people have read some of those hotly anticipated April releases. I'm excited to jump back into the Paige Toon read along. I've been absolutely loving it, and I can't believe her new one's out next month. I'm excited for us to switch from her adult ones to her young adult ones. And then I'm excited for those audiobooks as I have as well. And plenty of video content coming for you soon, so make sure you're subscribed so that those land in your subscription feed. I will be back with my March wrap up for you on Friday, so click the little bell to be notified when that goes up. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I will see you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching.